What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and at a time where all our entertainment is currently infested, and it's nearly impossible to find something that's not preaching some sort of message, pushing some type of agenda, or trying to tell you what political beliefs you should believe in, we may have one lone voice of reason, at least in the video game industry, and that is CD Projekt Red. Now, CD Projekt Red is developing the highly anticipated Cyberpunk 2077, most likely the most anticipated game of the year, at least for a lot of people, myself included. It has been delayed till November, but CD Projekt Red has been consistent with what they want to give consumers, even when pushed to try to make some sort of incendiary political statement, to try to be shamed. They refuse to do so. Let's take a look at this article. They refuse to kneel to these people. Cyberpunk 2077 is not a political game, specifies CD Projekt. Now, CD Projekt is the overall company. CD Projekt Red is the subsidiary of CD Projekt. There's a couple articles here. One that I think does an even better job of encapsulating what they quoted is this one here, from WCCF Tech. Cyberpunk 2077 dev on Black Lives Matter influences. Ours is a work of art, not a political statement. And that is so refreshing to hear. Like I said, at a time where everywhere you turn, you have these mega corporations who are saying anything that they think they need to, posting a black square, posting a hashtag, whether or not they believe it, whether or not they actually care, just because they think it'll win them good PR points. Cyberpunk, or CD Projekt Red, who's creating Cyberpunk, is not going to do that. They only care about giving people a good game. The source material of Cyberpunk 2077 is known to be a critique of sorts to issues of contemporary society such as inequity and following the waves of protests in the United States of America. Polish website Spiderwebs asked Cyberpunk 2077 quest designer Paul Sasko, I believe that's a Polish name, I think I'm pronouncing it right, whether the Black Lives Matter, BLM movement, foster any changes at all in the upcoming game, chiefly in its quests. Below him, you can find the translated answer, and this was in Polish, so this is translated, but there's been a lot of different sites that are running with the same translation. The important point is that we already have a recorded game at this stage, actually for a long time. This is the last stage in which we do not change anything in the story we're telling, add nothing, or remove anything. These events, as you noticed yourself, took place very recently. And that is a great point too, very similarly to Far Cry 5, when Ubisoft was attacked for not going after Trump, not talking about the 2016 election, not talking about all these things that had happened. You have to realize a game is in development for a long, long time. They're not just able to put in anything that's a hot button topic currently in culture. That's not the way it works. It takes a while to develop these games. The second point is, for us, Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher are games that show our philosophy as a studio. The game we're working on is an entertainment medium to a large extent, but for us, it's also an art, a work that shows our vision. It's difficult for me to imagine the events that would have to happen for us to suddenly find we're changing or moving something in order to not touch any specific elements. Anyway, I think you saw elements in that game that touch it, so you could find out for yourself. For me, the most important thing is that our game is not a political statement, a political thesis. For me and my team, Cyberpunk is a work of art, and I always stick to it. I always say it to my designers. I don't feel like I'm producing something. I feel like I'm painting a picture or making music, stories, movies. This is art for me, and art stories we tell the player, and that's the most important thing for us. And the fact that he comes out and says it's not a political statement, stop trying to make it like that. One, we're not going to put this thing that just popped up, just became a really hot button topic. All of a sudden, now you have all these people tweeting hashtag Black Lives Matter who haven't cared about it for the past several decades. Now that it's good for them PR-wise, now they're doing it. They didn't seem to care years and years earlier. It's not that they just heard the message, they just decided to start echoing it for good PR points. As a studio, we're such an amalgam of different people who have different approaches to political, religious, spiritual, and internal life, also when it comes to sexual orientation or political sympathies. As a studio, we always try to cultivate openness and approach it in such a way that everyone can have a say and each of these shades can be represented, as long as it is, of course, within the law and reason, so that each player can find something for everyone and can find answers to your own questions. Basically, that whole thing. When asked when asked by an interviewer, hey, are you going to have anything about Black Lives Matter in your video game? Right? Trying to get them to make a statement, trying to get them to appease everyone. They say, listen, that's not what it's about. It's not about politics. That's not what we here at CD Projekt Red care about. And that has been consistent. CD Projekt Red is a company that has always kind of stood alone because of how different they are and how much they care about the people who play their games, vice the money or the political message. You can see this is from months ago. CD Projekt Red makes great games by focusing on the players, not the profits. In order to craft the best games possible, CD Projekt Red focuses on the player experience instead of the profits. And one of the interesting things I wanted to look at here, CD Projekt Red today is different from its origins. CD Projekt Red started out as a video game retailer when founded in 1994. Now it's the largest game company in Europe and one of the most respected in the industry. Whether it be excluding loot boxes and microtransactions from all of its titles, to delaying a game for the sake of polishing and rounding it out, the company has always remained true to its word, true to its fans, and consistently vocal about what's going on behind the scenes. And that has been very true. Now, I, along with many others, have been disappointed that Cyberpunk has been delayed a couple times and now isn't coming out till November. But I have faith with what CD Projekt Red has done, and I honestly respect them for coming out and being so transparent in exactly what they are doing. They are telling everybody, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we have done. This is what we're still working on and why we want to give you the best possible product. Take, for instance, The Witcher 3 with its massive narrative and immensely detailed open world. The developers didn't stop at a 100+ hour experience, but they also crafted a series of fantastic DLC. Blood and Wine of Hearts and Stone together tack on around 30 hours of extra content to a game already packed to the brim with months worth of playability. And, you know, with this game, essentially, we've known about it since 2012. That's 8 years that we've been waiting for Cyberpunk 2077. It's the hype around this game is insane. If you're not paying attention to it, you might not understand quite how insane it is, but it's going to be huge when it happens. And for them to refuse to bow down, refuse to kneel down to all the people that want them to make some sort of political statement, that want to say, hey, let's hear you talk about this. You're going to put this in your game, right? Right? Aren't you? They say, no, that's not what we're about. And I have so much respect for that. And I think a lot of consumers have a lot of respect for the way CD Projekt Red handles almost everything, including not making their games about politics, just about the game. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. I'll talk to you guys later.